Hey everyone, welcome aboard. I guess another little update on the homestead. I just got back from town and picked up some feed for the critters. You know, it's one thing I miss about back east. So every little small town had a feed mill, and you can buy your feed in bulk, save yourself, 10-15% by buying it by the truckload. I converted this tote into a food storage for the cows and pigs, and buying it 50 pounds at a time in a bag just kind of gets costly. But anyway, enough about my rant. The homestead, haven't done much in the last couple months just because got a run in with the county. When I first bought this property, I went in and asked them what permits I needed, told them what I was doing. They told me I needed a permit for well and septic, which I got and did. But the building, they asked me what it was. I said I'm converting a shed. How big is it? They asked. I told them 12 by 36. They told me I was good at that point. They said something to the nature that it was not a permanent structure. You didn't need permits for it. Okay, went on with my business. Here I am 2 years later with a 90% finished house, and they come driving by and send me a letter, plus my neighbors, two of my neighbors for sure, saying we're in violation. So I went in, asked them what they needed, and first time I went in, they told me I needed the construction plans from the builder. Okay, so I got copies, took them in. They weren't happy with that because they weren't what they call them, the wet copies. It's got the actual handwritten signature on the corner of it. So I had to get a set of those, which, pretty expensive. Took those in, filled out my papers for my permit, gave them the money for applying for a permit, and about 2 weeks later get another thing in the mail that I failed. They said the building that I have there doesn't represent what's in the plans. Well, it's the exact same building. They didn't see inside. They came while I was at work or I was sleeping or something. So it said something about looks like this is being used as a dwelling. Need to know the electrical, the water, and plumbing. And they said there was an addition to the building that wasn't permitted. Then they also mentioned the barn. So I go in. Basically, no one knows what the issue is, because the person that filed it was not in. He was out getting more people. So I finally got a hold of him a week and a half ago. Asked him what he needed. He told me, the foundation too. They needed to know what kind of foundation it was. So told me what I needed. Like, well, my walls are up. You can't see the plumbing. And another thing, forgot another thing that they mentioned was the insulation. 2x4 walls. You can't meet code out here with a 2x4 wall unless you spray foam. Like R15's like the heaviest installation you can get for a 2x4 wall, and that doesn't meet code. I'm not sure what the code is. So I actually get to talk to this guy after like the 4th trip, and I told him my walls are covered. Is there any way that I can just draw out what I have and go from there? It's like, well, we'd like to see it, but if you draw it out, we'll take a look at it and we'll go from there. So I drew out my water, all my electrical stuff, the deck, and took those in. And he was happy with the foundation. Looks like he's pretty much happy with the water and the septic. The electrical, I did not have what amp my breaker was and what size wire I was using. So I got to get that information, put that down. The deck, he's not happy with. All my posts are straight into the ground. He wants them encased in cement. So I'm going to have to take that down. And he doesn't like how the roof is not permanently mounted to the building. He said if I'm going to be just doing a floating roof, I need to have posts right along the house to support the roof. My plan was just to sit it on the metal of the building, and you can't hardly see it, but I put tie down straps basically to hold it down so it wouldn't blow away. Well, he doesn't like that. So I'm going to take the roof off, take some of my flooring off so I can get to my post, dig around my post and cement them in. So after that, maybe I'll be good to go. And as of the barn, if I get it under 200 square feet, no permit is needed. So kind of what my plan is, let me flip the phone around here. What my plan is, basically I got this thing in 2 sections. Well, it's 3 sections. A walkway, animals here, animals there. Take the roof off this center section. Basically have 2 different buildings. Under 200 square feet on this side, under 200 square feet on this side. No, you're not getting out. Muddy mess. So, I'd be pretty much legit at that point. The only issue I would have, there is supposed to be 10 feet between any building. I do not have that. So, let's see how picky he gets after I get this done. I told him I was not going to do this till later, just for the fact that I have several birds' nests in this building at this point. And basically that's an environmental issue. You cannot mess with them in the state of Nevada. So anyway, that's my rant on the homestead. I'll kind of show you what's going on here. We got the pet pig. Then we got my newest arrival pigs. They're getting pretty big. They should be ready to butcher by end of summer. Of course, we got Bambi over here. How you doing, Bambi? How you doing? Yep, say hi. Smile. Then we got this big bruiser right there. That girl, she needs to go to the butcher anytime. I just haven't made time to do that. Then we got turkeys and chickens out here. I am down to 4 turkeys because my neighbor's dog came and killed one of them. So down to 4, and I have 5 hens, well, 5 chickens in there. They were supposed to be all hens, but there's definitely a male in there, a rooster. All the hens are staying out of the sun. got the garden going. I planted tomatoes and peppers and some cucumbers about 3 weeks ago. It's too early. Frost got them in the middle of the night. It never really frosted, but it got close enough where it killed everything. So I put some more. I bought some tomatoes and peppers today actually and planted them. I do have a few more in the house that I started from seed that are not quite ready to come out yet, but maybe in a week or two I'll put those out. I have peas, potatoes, radishes, and onions. So looks like I can pick some onions to snack on. I also built these past days I've been off. A little burn pit. Put some edging in. Brought in 2.5 tons of gravel. Built a little wooden bench. Did you hear that? Yeah, that's not a hen. Put in the flower beds. Planted some flowers. Need any color you can out here. Just for the fact. Well, I also need them because I got bees now. So yeah. Deck. This has all got to come off. I also have some raspberry bushes. I had 4 other ones there. Planted them earlier in the year and they died off. I'm going to leave them in there this year. Hopefully, maybe they'll come back next year. There's also asparagus in there. And I planted some seeds off some peach trees. So hopefully they'll pop this year. Some cactuses out there. My bees. Dirty bike. Right here and show you the bees. I got these like 2 weeks ago. They haven't started producing honey yet. They're still working down in the bottom section, making babies at this point, hopefully. I was a little worried when I put them in because it got cold that day. It was like sleeting and snowing, and I'm trying to rush and get them in here. But they're pretty docile. I have got one little sting when I was putting them in, and that's just because I had a hoodie on and it got between my hoodie and my head. But I don't think, well, we got a few up there playing around. But they'll eventually fill those in. This is all automatically. I don't have to get inside the thing to get my honey. Basically, you just pull this section off up here. And you stick a rod in there. Then you take off this bottom section. Yeah, it's kind of stuck right now. But anyway, you put a spout in each one of these sections. Turn a little key on it, and your honey just pours right out. Less stress on the bees, and less chance of getting stung. But you can, when they start producing honey, these will start filling up. There's none on this side. Looks like you're working from one side over. But yeah, got bees. But I haven't seen them messing around my flowers or nothing. They found somewhere else to get some pollen at, I guess. So yeah, they're still alive. Little guard. But it's springtime here, so there's little flowers popping up everywhere from the weeds. So yeah, that's my update for right now. I also paid my neighbor down here to come up with a tractor and try to fill in all the spots that the neighbor's dogs, multiple, are getting underneath my fence. Well, he did, but 2 hours later, they've dug through and up here harassing my animals again. And he's already accused me of poisoning his animals. The only poison I have is actually in my barn for mice. And I keep the door closed when I'm not actually out here. So if they're getting in there, getting in the barn and getting the mice poison, it's really not my problem. Talked to the sheriff. He told me you got to do what you got to do. So I dealt with him, and once he seen that I was, carrying in my pea shooter, I think he thought it was smart to walk away. Because, like I say, I'm not one for killing animals unless it's a necessity or, they're doing damage to my animals. So yeah, his dogs, they come up here, they're grabbing onto my cow's tail, grabbing its back legs, went through 2 layers of chicken fence and killed a turkey. So now I got 3 layers. So killed a pig last year. I believe they killed my cat I had last year. So it is what it is. So I don't feel bad at this point. He lets them run. They do whatever they want. So, well, shit happens, I guess. Hate to see it. All you to do is, leash your dog or build yourself a fence to keep them in. So, and it's been quite the last couple days since our confrontation. So, anyway, really nothing new inside, or I'd walk you inside. So, I'm going to get to tearing this apart, dump my feed into my feed bin. It's pretty warm today, so I don't know how much I'll get done. I got a sunburn yesterday out here loading this gravel up. So, nice talking to y'all again. Like and follow if you wish. I'll talk to you guys soon.